Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. When I was talking to Asfar yesterday and he said that there are no PowerPoints in this session, I was delighted because I tried this trick once in my management team a few weeks ago. And usually we have a long list of topics coming to the meeting. And when people came to know that there's no PowerPoint and they have to come and present, the list of agenda just suddenly shrinks. Right? So I'll try. Being too long in the corporate sector, we're used to those death by PowerPoint. So if you look around us, I think we're living in a very exciting time when this gadget alone is actually changing everything around us. Smartphone has become masterpiece of the remote control of our lives. And we think of the processing power we are having now in this machine. It's like 100 times more than man's first mission on moon. So that's the power of this gadget now, which is actually changing lives as we speak. And if we look at history, and it took us close to 20 years to reach first billion mobile connection globally. And then next decade, it come a lot faster, and we are now approaching 4 billion connections around the world. But in next 4 or 5 years, that number will reach over 20 billion. And one would be thinking that we don't have that many people here, but that's because of Internet of Things and Internet of Everything, where everything will be connected and talking to each other, communicating with each other. And this has already started happening, including in Pakistan, where Telenor is sort of leading this with over 100,000 devices which are out there connected to each other. And I'll take it one step forward, and I would argue that future, it will be Internet of Everything and Internet of Life, actually. It will be much beyond connectivity, because connectivity is important. But unless those machines, unless our smart homes, our businesses, our autonomous or self-driven cars, or our refrigerators and appliances in our homes are not able to actually transact, not just communicate, but transact with each other, we will not have the full value delivered to us. And that's the day where we're living. So I was reflecting last night, there was weather forecast that we are expecting some thunderstorms in Islamabad. I was just thinking, I was obviously worried about the network, get this message every morning, but more so, when you have to commute in a weather where you are expecting thunderstorm, and you have an alarm which goes, say, at 7:30 every morning, there is intelligence built into the system and our devices now, which can, on such a day, looking at the traffic, the alarm can ring 20 minutes early, because it knows exactly that today you have special road conditions. So that's the era of connectivity. That's the era of Internet of lives, and that is possible today. And imagine you can order if you have to reach or if you have to enjoy latest content from Netflix. Your TV should be able to order it without any human intervention, without asking you to approve that purchase. It has to be frictionless. If you have to order fuel into your future cars in like 4 to 5 years from now, cars should be able to go to those gas stations or electric stations and able to fill themselves without the intervention. And that is the era where we can claim that we're getting the most value. So far we've been sort of building connectivity, even in countries like Pakistan, where we have over 140 million customers. We've been building other building blocks like payment solutions. We're building, a lot of investments into infrastructure, big data. We heard from the previous speaker here. There is a lot of focus on fintech, a lot of focus on blockchain. But all of those technologies, or all of those on their own, will not bring us the results unless everything works in harmony and collaboration. And that is the future of Internet of Lives, which is around the corner awaiting us. So that's the world we live in, and that's the world which we are migrating into. Because there are a lot of value migration which is happening. And from a telco industry, I mean, no one knows better than us that, voice used to be the king for us when it comes to revenue, when it comes to usage. And that value is now migrated, SMS as well. And no one now talks about SMSs anymore. So this is how we are transforming the world around us. And if you look at Pakistan, things like connectivity, like I said, I mean, now, if I talk about even 3G, in case of Telenor, over 80% of our network is 3G enabled. And we are aggressively investing into 4G. Actually, we're building a new 4G site or upgrading those sites, one site every hour. So that's sort of the intensity in terms of how fastly we are revolutionizing or building that highway. And when it comes to other building blocks like payments, so I think on the stage between EasyPaisa and Jazz, we sort of dominate the market. Last year alone, we have seen transactions over $12 billion through mobile money in Pakistan. So that's the sort of the magnitude of this change which is happening around us. Imagine the next step going to be the micropayments, the lending, which you can do through digital platforms, which can really transform the entire economy and propel progress and prosperity for our fellow citizens. Imagine the opportunities which we have in health, in education, through leveraging the technology whereby the internet is the biggest or largest equalizer for us. And other example I'd like to briefly mention here is agriculture, which is about 22% of Pakistan's GDP. Only a year ago, we come up with new products called Khushhal Zimedar for our farmer communities, where we thought that we can give them access to information so that they can increase their yields. Our yields are, half the size of, or half at the levels of our neighbors, actually, per hectare, because we are not really using modern ways of harvesting or farming. Just by giving them that access to information through videos and through voice services, some of the farmers are claiming that they have increased or improved their yields by 30 to 40%. That is the real contribution to the economy. And within a year, today we have over 2 million, actually 2.5 million farmers using the service every day. So this is the sort of type of examples I would like to bring here and share that how this silent revolution around us is shaping up much faster than we think. So if I was reading John Chambers, the ex-CEO of Cisco and the present chairman, and he was saying that 40% of businesses, as we know today, will cease to exist in 10 years' time. So imagine, guys, 40% of us sitting in the room will not be relevant. Our businesses will not be relevant. And we have seen many examples. I won't go into that. And then he kept on saying that 70% of them will try to transform themselves, and only 30% will succeed. So that's the impact. And those who will succeed will be actually ones who are able to reinvent themselves, who are able to digitize themselves, who are able to find a leaner, efficient way of, business model or go-to-market, bringing the cost down and focusing on the innovation. Because innovation is going to be the key for us if we have to be successful in this journey. And I would like to mention 4 key success factors here. First one starts with the customer. So we need to always see, there could be great ideas, but if customers are not really interested in those ideas, if we are not addressing customer pain, those ideas will never be successful. So how we monetize the pain which customers are facing? And if there's a genuine need there, obviously customers are willing to pay, and you can, benefit and monetize. So if you look at that future, it creates a lot of uncertainty. It creates a lot of need for change, and change is not easy. And we all know that change will make people really uncomfortable. And we also know that you cannot make an omelette unless you break the egg. So you need to really think differently. And we have also seen, by looking at for example, mobile phone adoption or internet adoption, the change is not always linear. We tend to think that things will take longer. It will not come to Pakistan because we are far behind some of the other markets, but most of the cases we are wrong in those assumptions because we see a tremendous adaptation of technology even in our market today. The second element I would like to briefly mention is need for innovation. And I would like to use a human metaphor. We all know that with time, as we get older, we are, more immune to, diseases. The body start decaying, you're not the same. So you need to really eat healthy, you need to stay fit, you need to do exercise, you need to refresh yourself. And that is true for our business lives as well. As we grow into our businesses, as we become more and more mature, there's a need for constant renewal. There's a need for constant refreshment, and that is through innovation. So we need to keep on finding innovative, positive ways of actually staying ahead of the curve. We need to look at the future. We need to try to see where the puck is going, where, as contrast to or contrary to where the puck was 2 years ago or 5 years ago. So I think looking at the trend, looking at what is coming our way, and adjusting our strategies and our businesses is extremely important. The third element I would like to bring here is collaboration. I think no company, no business can claim that they can bring or they can benefit from the digitization. The opportunities which exist today never existed before. But no company can claim that they can do it on their own. So it is about collaboration. It's about building those ecosystems together. And if I talk about telecom industry, I think, and I'll be very candid here, I think we are to be blamed for many things in this country. We could have achieved a lot more if we have joined hands and be collaborative many years ago. I'll quickly mention a couple of examples. Look at number of towers we have put in this country. In Islamabad, you go to any markaz and you say, 5 different towers. Now they are 4, perhaps. It's not only aesthetically eyesores, but it's also very inefficient. For any business, or businesses like us, that's not our core business. We have spent millions of precious foreign exchange importing steel and building those towers. As per one estimate, there are close to 35,000 towers. Perhaps industry only need half of them. So we have created that sort of inefficiencies whereby we could have invested that money into making sure that we have even better networks, even better coverage in every nook and corner of the country. Similarly, other example could be mention EasyPaisa and the financial services on mobile money. When we started, we thought that it's a closed system is always good. And as a result, yes, we have come a long way, but we could have even gone further. Even today, we are blocking each other's access to services from one network to the other, which is suboptimal. So I think there's a lot of learning. There's no criticism here, but I think it's a self-criticism on us that how can we, because in future, we need to really leapfrog, and if you have to really benefit from those opportunities, we need to really think very differently. We need to really be collaborative. We need to reach out with all stakeholders, whether it's civil society, whether it's startup community, whether it's the corporate sector itself, whether it's the regulator, whether it's the government and the policymakers, to really make sure that we develop and create that ecosystem together. Because the future is bright if we are able to adopt to it. And for people who are skeptical to change, they will struggle. And unfortunately, many of those will fall into that category which were not able to actually make it. So in the interest of time, I would like to just end here by saying that we have fantastic opportunities in terms of digitizing Pakistan. We have fantastic opportunity to build a truly inclusive, digital and financial inclusive society here in Pakistan. I think I agree with some of the previous speakers who said that we can leapfrog because we don't have to worry about the investments into the infrastructure, into business verticals, which has gone in the West, in more mature economies, because we have not made those investments so far. And for us, this is all about having the clear vision. It's all about reaching out to each other, working together, and unleashing those opportunities. I would like to close by quoting Bill Gates here, who said that your time is limited. Don't waste it having someone else's life. Thank you very much.
Irfan Wahab Khan, thank you very much indeed. He will be leaving us now because he has a plane to catch. Thank you so much for your contribution if you need to go.